everyone. Great to be back at MPE. My name is Giulio Montemagno. I'm in charge of cloud products at Ingenico, and specifically I'm in charge of PPaaS, Payments Platform as a Service. So I have a very simple agenda for today. I have two things that I would like to talk about. One is share with all of you the trends, the challenges, and key opportunities that we're seeing in the marketplace. As Ingenico, we have the unique privilege of serving clients in 50 plus countries, so that gives us a pretty good point of view on what is actually going on in the marketplace. And I would like to share with all of you today. And secondly, share with all of you what we're actually going to do about that, how we're enabling our clients to kind of manage some of the threats and challenges, and how we're enabling our clients to take advantage of these opportunities. So very simple agenda. So let me start with some numbers. So this chart shows the portion of retail transactions directly conducted online. You're very familiar with these numbers. It's a steady growth year over year, and obviously it's been accelerated by the pandemic in 2021, in 2020 and 2021. And we foresee these numbers to continue to grow high single digits for the foreseeable future, for the next few years. However, still, 3 out of 4 transactions are conducted face-to-face and in-store. So we believe that in-store and mobile-driven face-to-face payments will continue to shape retail payments for many, many years to come. We're talking about 115, 120 billion transactions every year, growing 5 or 6% over year. So this will continue to shape what payments will look like. So as I mentioned, let me share with you some of the trends that we're seeing around the world. So this is a mix of trends and opportunities, and I will talk about this one by one. Number one, merchant churn. Many of you are unfortunately experiencing up to 25% of merchant churn every year. Second, extreme price pressure. It's an extremely competitive market. It's a high margin industry, lots of entrants. The barriers to entry are not that high, so lots of entrants, tremendous amount of margins, tremendous pressure on margins, especially when you're forced to compete on price. Number three, as we call it, generalization it out, category-specific, vertical-specific solutions are in. We're seeing a great number of software vendors coming into the market. Laura McRae can talk about embedded payments. I think that's a key trend that we're seeing in the industry, where you see software players developing category-specific, vertical-specific solutions and embedding payments into what they offer, and really delivering an end-to-end services. Reach, extremely important. We talk to banks and acquirers. They want to have access to merchants through new channels. They want to be able to touch new segments of customers and enter new markets seamlessly and cost-effectively. And finally, digital endpoints. We see Android becoming the de facto operating system for all payment terminals around the world, enabling a great number of use cases. We'll talk about that in a second. Omnichannel, we just saw the growth of online. We continue to see many more use cases developed for omnichannel, where consumers initiate a transaction on one channel and finish in the other. And finally, soft POS. We're seeing a tremendous growth in this market segment. It's been in the making for a number of years, but now with new PCI DSS regulations, it's really taking off in a major way, 40-50% year over year. We'll talk about that in a second. So let me take So these are kind of the 5 major trends that we're seeing in the marketplace. Is again a mixture of threats, challenges, but also opportunities. Let me take you one by one real quick. So first of all, merchant churn. So if you think about that, just to stand still, just to produce the same amount of revenue year in, year out, merchants have to cycle through up to a quarter of their entire merchant base, just to stand still. So imagine the cost of acquisition, imagine the cost and then the complexity of operations and all the investments that you need to make just to maintain the current merchant base. When we ask the merchants why that, when we ask acquirers why that is the case, they bring up 2 reasons. Number one, they're not able to differentiate fast enough their offering, and it's extremely commoditized offering. Number 2, many of them have grown through acquisitions, through M&A, which is a great way to grow your market share very quickly. The drawback is that you find yourself managing multiple platforms at the same time with a lot of legacy architecture that you have to manage. That is a great barrier to growth. We're seeing extreme price pressure. So a good portion of our clients, we're serving roughly 1,200 clients, acquirers and banks around the world. A good portion of them in store offer a fairly basic service. Visa, MasterCard acceptance, American Express, maybe one local scheme, maybe one or two additional payment methods. And when your offering is pretty commoditized, it's pretty standard, you can only charge a basic price. And with the competition that we have in this industry, if you're not able to manage your cost base fast enough, that will eat into your margin. And soon enough, your in-store operations are in trouble. But it doesn't have to be that way. We know from talking to customers and from research that merchants will pay up to 20 or 30% more if the payment service that they get from their providers measurably help them improve their business. So there is definitely a way to increase the top line. It doesn't necessarily have to be a race to the bottom. Some opportunities. We talked about verticalization. Extremely important. A lot of software providers providing category-specific, vertical-specific solutions with payments embedded that enables them to offer an end-to-end service to their merchants, taking share away from banks, acquirers, and let me call it generalistic payment service providers. So extremely important to be able to offer category-specific and bundle-specific solutions. Number 4, reach. We're seeing when we started in payments 20, 25 years ago, and I'm sure that many can relate to that, the only way to get a merchant account and to start accepting payments was through your banks. Now there are many more avenues to merchants. And as a data point, 60% of banks in the US are selling to merchants indirectly today. And when you look at the growth of independent software vendors, value-added resellers, or gateways, they're growing their merchant base, twice as fast as banks and acquirers. So you have to have a product that can be distributed around different channels. And finally, digital endpoints. So we're seeing a tremendous growth of Android in the payment terminal business. Android is establishing itself as the operating system. And really what Android does, it gives you the possibility to expand your payment terminal from a pure payment acceptance tool, kind of a one-trick pony, to doing many more things. It really become a point of engagement, a point of interaction, enabling many more use cases at point of sale. Number 2, omnichannel. We're seeing a significant growth of omnichannel with many different use cases that, again, started during the pandemic. And finally, as I mentioned, SoftPOS. We're seeing tremendous growth in this segment. We're moving from 3.5 million endpoints connected today to 14 million connected through the end of 2027, according to research. Many of you might think that this is for the small guys. This is for the small merchants, which it is. Certainly, it is catering to use cases where a merchant accepts maybe 30, 40, 50 payments a week. But there are large use cases for enterprise merchants that we're seeing in the marketplace. So for example, queue busting. For example, enabling your associates to process payments in aisle. So SoftPOS really has a variety of different applications, and we're very excited about the growth that we're seeing here. So what is our vision? Our vision is PPaaS. So in the back, in light of all these challenges and opportunities, we've been working a platform. We started working on the platform 2 years ago. It's a SaaS platform, software as a service platform. Cloud native, API first, that we started building from scratch 2 years ago. The idea is to make this with a thin client architecture, with just a fancy word to say that everything that is happening in the brain in the cloud, and there is a piece of software sitting on a hardware terminal that enables you to process payments, accept alternative payment methods, and a variety of different services. We're making this completely device agnostic. As you will see in a minute, this will work for our own terminal, Ingenico terminals, but as well as Verifone and Android. So we've already made our platform compatible with 75% plus of all terminals in the world. The former panel talked about ecosystem a lot, the importance of partnerships. This is definitely a key of our vision. There is a very limited number of services that we're building ourselves, but the vast majority of services that we're building and connecting to the platform are brought to us by third parties through which we connect through APIs. And finally, we don't believe in customization. We don't believe in a year-long project to add a simple payment methods. We believe in configuration. We do all the heavy lifting behind the scenes and enable banks and acquirers seamlessly to just toggle on and off the services that they need and push this seamlessly to their terminal estate in real time. So we started building this platform 2 years ago. We're now ready to go to market. Let me tell you exactly where we are. So as I mentioned, we made the platform available, compatible through a variety of different endpoints, starting with our own, operating system called Cetra, our Axiom range, which is our Android range, Verifone and Pax Android, and obviously, SoftPOS. We're expanding the number of commerce services to really build a great spectrum of service that we can offer. These are what we call data and commerce services. Again, as you can see from the logos, all of this will be powered by third parties. This is not something that we're going to develop ourselves. Payment methods, obviously, we started with the largest, with the international schemes, and now we're progressively adding more and more value-added services in store, alternative payment methods, buy now, pay later solutions around the world, and we have certified platforms, production platforms ready to go in every market. So this is where we are. This embodies kind of how we're building these platforms, and obviously we're going to continue to enrich the catalog of services. I mentioned SoftPOS, so I am very proud to announce that yesterday we have agreed to acquire 100% of FOSS Cloud, a leading provider of SoftPOS solutions. We're very proud of this acquisition that we're announcing, and FOSS enables us to do many more things. We're seeing, as I mentioned, SoftPOS is one of the fastest growing and most exciting parts of the market. The team has built an amazing product with worldwide distribution. We very much look forward to integrating their technology into ours and vice versa, helping them grow and welcoming the team to Ingenico. Thank you very much. If you're willing to know more, please come by our booth and enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you.